With the second pick of the 2024 MLB Draft, the Cincinnati Reds select Chase Burns, a right-handed pitcher from Wake Forest. The Colorado Rockies have the next pick.
Yeah, he's 6'3", 210, transferred to Wake, monster year. 10-1, 2.7 ERA, 17.2 K per nine. He's going to the Cincinnati Reds with the number 2 pick. Jim, what do you think of this?
He's got the best stuff in the draft. That's why he went number 2 here to the Reds. Thought they might go Charlie Condon. We might hear his name in a second. The slider is one of the best pitches you're ever going to see. Throws up to 100 miles an hour. Curveball's pretty good. Changeup is pretty good. The one concern I have with him is as hard as he throws, the fastball does get hit by left-handers. That bothers me a little bit. That'd be the one sticking point, but it's the best overall stuff in the draft. I mean, you look there, it's 55s and 60s and up and everything.
Well, again, Tony knows the makeup of this young man better than any of us, so I'm going to let him jump on this. I think there's some reliever risk right here, quite honestly. I mean, he's a good athlete, but it's a max delivery, doesn't really have a third pitch. You know, it's the K rate on the fastball and the sliders, elite. But man, Major League Baseball, he's more of a control guy than he is a command guy on his fastball. So there is some development here, but he is athletic. He does have, the bigger concern I have, he has such a quick arm. For me, a lot of guys with quick arms, they end up in the bullpen because they can't stay within their delivery enough to throw enough strikes.
The argument makes sense, but a lot of these kids are in this position because they've overcome things. And the one thing about Burnsy, if you date back to COVID, when a lot of kids, quite frankly, got worse, they got out of shape, they stayed at home, he got a lot better. That's when he jumped onto the scene as a major national player and potentially a pick out of high school was COVID. And then, you know, when we were around him personally, he was a worker like a pro. And then the last thing I'll say, if you're calling on me for intangibles, he wants the ball. And I know that sounds very simple, but he wants the ball in the most dramatic and important situations. And going number 2, he's going to get it.
I'm going to jump in real quick. And my comp to him, it's where a guy's at. I think he's more advanced than Hunter Green as a pitcher. Hunter's really been pitching 2 full, complete seasons. This guy's a pitcher, and I think that's what the Reds saw. We got Hunter Green, who's going to an all-star game on Tuesday, throwing 100, and he did not have this slider. I think they're seeing what they can get here, and Hunter helped them dream on this guy.
I want to go upstairs to our player development analyst, Lance Brozdowski. What do you make of Chase Burns, Lance?
I love Chase Burns. Stuff, as Jim said, is electric with him. That's the combination of velocity, movement, how that pitch moves in the zone. Can we grade that out? Can we look at prior pitches and determine how that pitch is going to perform? That allows him to have above average swing miss on everything in his repertoire. The fastball is almost double that of league average in whip. Slider is nasty, curveball is nasty. To Jim's point about him giving up slug on the fastball to left-handed hitters, the changeup is a pitch that he basically did not need in Division I. That pitch is really easy, in my opinion, to toggle up the usage on. He zoned it at a surprising rate. I think he gets into pro ball, a good development organization on the pitching side in terms of what the Reds do. Give him more changeup, develop everything. I don't mind Harold's comp on Hunter Green. I'm going to go Dylan Cease because he cuts his fastball a bit. Chase Burns does. I really, really like this guy. This is an awesome pick from the Reds. Back to you, Greg.
Yeah, well, Lance, good stuff. Dan, it's funny because you kind of disagreed with what Harold's analysis was there. Saw you shake your head a bit.
Yeah, I know. Harold said he's I don't think he is a pitcher. I think he's more of a thrower. I think he could develop into a pitcher. I think Hunter Green has learned how to develop more into a pitcher. But right now, I think it's more stuff over feel. But again, that's all part of the development process of a young man. I will say this, just historically looking at the draft, it's a risk to take a pitcher this high when you have the bats around him that I think really have a chance to be impactful.
I will say this, being up close and personal, the feel and the athleticism are better than everybody thinks. They called us a bunch asking questions, and it sounds silly, but seeing him in PFP and on the field, taking ground balls, messing around, he considered himself a high school shortstop. The feel is better than you'd think because you see that long arm action and it's coming at you hot and heavy like a thrower. But I think there's a foundation there to improve as a pitcher.
I mean, they took Hunter Green with the second pick, right? And they were trying to figure out, is he a shortstop, is he a pitcher? And when Hunter gave up the hitting, he's really been pitching 2, maybe 3 full years now. And I think with this guy, we talked about with Cleveland, Travis fit the profile of the Guardians. I think he fits the profile of that front office with the Reds right now and how they're evaluating guys. That's just my take.